Hosts wanted, yes. My name is Nils Åse. I'm from Ad North, Sweden and Nordic region. And yeah, just going. I mean, I mentioned this earlier at stage, but I mean, much locally decentralized. So we saw an opening there for us, and we have some background in the plastics industry from injection molding, but it's kind of related, especially in terms of knowing the polymers and how they behave.
Sorry, wrong lecture.
Yeah, make it truly sustainable. So we need to make plastics true consumption material for 3D. And we all studied together in the same age. We have a lot of fun. We just started 1.5 years ago, and it's been a blast ever since. A lot of on our product range. We have the basic, and that's mainly as an introduction to be able to price compete with the foreign imports, to show that we can make good products at reasonable prices, even here in Sweden. And then we have the add layer segment, which is more for people with higher certain characteristics of their printed parts, like mattness or more toughness. And then we have the add pro segment, and users who are not afraid to pay the extra kroner to really achieve good results with their FDM printing. And what we also do a lot is the R&D, which we focus. I mean, I guess half of our time is focusing on developing products and finding new formulations, which is quite time-consuming, but also a lot of fun. And for every successful material, I guess we have 10 fails. That also makes it all the more fun when you eventually succeed to get a good material. So our projects currently running is first the cellulose PLA, where we want to make PLA out of cellulose waste instead of the cornstarch that's currently used. And so far we managed to come up with this much, but we're working on it, and hopefully we'll have an industrial process in a year or so. From Swedish forest industry waste instead of American corn, which most PLA is made of today. The AdTech segment, where we want to go into very high-performing materials like boron carbide, for example, before, and also industrial grade ABS and nylons and carbon filled like that for the industrial user, which is what I'm going to talk about a little bit more today, and that's the circular flow of filament. So this is basic concept is built up. So we need to be able to do this in a sustainable way. There's no way to really, especially the bioplastics, there's no conventional way of recycling them today. The PLA, for example, you cannot put it in the plastic recycling bins because it will actually contaminate all the fossil plastics. So the only thing you can do right now is burn it, basically. And that's because you can't really, and it's also, I mean, we show it later, but we can really prove the environmental benefits of circulating the filament instead of just using new plastic. Make new filament out of it that we'll be able to buy at a discount if you contribute to this whole program. We've had answers. I just wanted to show some results from that. We can see here that the big part, at least 10 to 30% of their filament goes to waste. So the total average here is about 25% of the filament usage is waste among these 150 people. which is quite an untapped source of resource. And this is how people currently handle their waste. We see almost half of the users just throw it away in the combustibles, and that's actually worse in the plastic, and that's bad because that basically destroys recycling fossil. Yeah, and we also saw that many people wanted this. 63% would want to use this system. So that's when we decided to basically go ahead and just launch it and see how it goes. And so far we've limited it to our products and our PLA products. We have 3 different, just to be able to control the flow of materials. But I mean, now for this fair, we've opened it up to all kinds of brands for plastics, and our ambition is to also do that in the future. But we don't know. We probably need to invest in some machinery that can sort the plastics, some IR scanning or something. That's quite expensive, so we need some proper volumes. So for now, it's out late, and the schools, of course, which is also great. This is how sound it is to do this. We can see if you use, and that's what we're aiming at, to be able to use 50% of recycled and 50% of virgin plastics. And we can see here that it's a huge saving in terms of greenhouse gases, and also if we get that up even more, I mean, it would be even great project. But yeah, this is to do to create a sustainable environment. And when there is 6 in this, and the container you use is of your own choosing. I mean, we have some volume constraints; it cannot be too big, but basically, whatever you have at hand, and it will fit in our system. Yeah, so basically for the future of this concept, we're looking at opening it up to other producers, brands, and invest in some sorting capacity at our facility, which would make it even more easy to handle for us. Right, and with that, I will just let you.
It's okay if I close the door. So, very nice to be here. Nils works at a foundation called Chalmers Industry, where we do a lot of projects served together. So it's a really nice collaboration. I don't know, did any one of you complete the survey that we sent out? Have you heard of it or seen it in a forum or some mailing list? Okay. But it was a survey, very easy for use. Did the survey up here? We are going to implement it, but I will give out the and I'm very sorry that my slides are in Swedish, but I will talk in English. So there were 2 important questions that I'd like to dig a bit deeper in after we analyzed the survey results. And the first one is, how can you sort the filament in a good way? And the other aspects concerns quality. Aspects are important if you want to buy a filament you use with recycled PLA. So we start with sorting. One of the questions in the survey was, we asked how often do you use different types of filaments? I don't know if you can see at the back, but this is PLA. The purple one implies that you use only a certain filament or plastic sort. And the red one is that we use something often, and then the blue one sometimes, and if we have green, it's never. And the other shade of purple is I don't know. But as we can see here, by far the most common one, but it's only around 25%. And we also asked in the survey if they are willing to sort by themselves. As you can see, they are very positive. 90% would say that yes, we can sort it and we can DLA. So it's positive. But we would like to know a little bit more about good ways to actually sort the filament, and also if there's something that to help. It can be separate plastics bags, for example, some kind of bag or anything. If it's okay, I would like you to just think a little bit, and then you can log into menti.com. And if you just go into that webpage, and then you have a code there, 872418, and you can write the answers. Like to do that? And if you have any good ideas about how to do this way. And when you answer something, it should pop up here, so I hope it works. You get to condemn. Voting would be no problem at all. You can just write that. You can basically. Sort the waste that you have at home. Yes, that would be completely fine as well. Any kind of filament waste. So if it's also used prototypes, that you don't delete as well. All done? Anyone? And we can go to the next aspect concerning quality. Of course, there are two parts of a system like this. One thing is to get it back to Red North, but then we also want someone to use the new filament. So we asked what is important if you would buy filament used with recycled plastic. And here we asked about the quality, type of plastics, color, price, and the environmental aspects. And we can see that quality was most important. So you always realize after that question, because when we looked at the results, we realized we were not really sure what kind of quality aspects are important. So we thought we'll take the opportunity and ask that now. What is good quality? So there we go. So here we have some different. I don't think you can see what it says here on the screen, but maybe you can see it better on your phones. So there are 7 different quality aspects. So you should grade them between unimportant. Okay, so that might be it. So what we can see is that an even diameter, binding, layer binding, or what's it called? And that it's should.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we'll need course, but it's good that the color is not the most important, because I don't think we can make it in so many different colors. I mean, it's gonna be, if we have some or quite many pieces white. So if we get the white in separate, we could do a white one, but otherwise it would have to be black or brownish, which is when you mix different colors. So what you get. So yeah.
Do you have any other word recycling system in general, or? Yes.
Really cheap library. To get consistency for that, you want to have it more records. But usually with white, but many people want to use.
Yeah.
The question is, can you get, maybe it's not important that you have all the range of colors. Maybe it shouldn't include too much. I don't know.
Yeah. No, that's a good point.
I guess they've also done some follow-up interviews, and I think that what most people said there is that it's, I mean, they can buy this recycled plastic and they might not use it for the nicest things that they print, but they want to do prototypes, they want to test something that it will work quite nicely. So I think it was just one person out of 10 that I talked to said that, no, I only want one certain shade of white, but the rest said, no, of course there is, how to say, easier or more simple filament as well. But I think, I mean, we are doing quality tests right now as well, and I think they're turning out pretty good. So good quality of the filament.
Yeah.
And I guess it could be an issue
with the level of mixing that we do. I mean, if we keep it at 50% or a bit below, I think we could keep it fairly consistent over the batches. But when we go up above 50%, that could be an issue. You have plastics printed in different temperatures, and I mean, what do you have? So yeah, that's a good point for sure. We need to be able to secure that. We have to continuously.
Any more comments? You want to do something more?
No, I'm just happy that we can collaboration with the community, and this will be the most sustainable filament available. So we hope people want to buy it, and just hope everyone will join this program now and start recycling.
Another question: the calculations for impact on the environment. I assume that was based like locally within Sweden, or?
Which part of the calculations?
Or where it was the cost for the transport were included?
Yes, the cost of the transport I have done. So those I can talk a lot. Otherwise, we have Ulrika. But when it comes to the transport, I mean, first we have looked at the transport from the States to here. But then we have also looked at how much it would, I mean, the emissions for getting the filament back to Ulströma, where you have your facilities. And we calculated on 4 different cities, Malmö, Gothenburg, Stockholm, and Östersund. And we can see that all the way up to Östersund. I mean, if you compare them with the trains, transport all the way up to Stockholm, transported back from Stockholm, emission included, I mean, then you can transport it a long way back.
Transport right? Or
First with transport calculations, it's not something, because when we need bags, plastic, raw material, now we are really into the detail. Excellent fill rate in the containers. On the big container vessel, 1 kilo of PLA will have nothing, even if it's a very long distance. Higher, where this transport emissions 100 kilometers when you leave the container. So longer distances does not have to imply higher emissions. It's much more about what kind of vessel you use or load factor of those.
for the calculations.
Have you counted for 1 kilo to send back, or
Yes, but kind of calculations, you assume that, for example, DHL, they will fill up the truck with other things. So if you send back 1 kilo or 5 kilo, it won't influence the transport emissions for that truck.
Yeah.
So that's.
I still don't understand, because if you say that it's more efficient to transport from the US than from Stockholm, but there's something I haven't understood.
No, but that is if you purely look at the transportation emissions.
Yeah.
So that is the what is it? I don't know.
Yeah.
But if you see, the largest part here are the emissions from the production. So even if it's PLA and it's made out of corn, they still have a negative impact. And that one we cut down drastically.
But
You filament, but we can assume that, I mean, this one can increase before it turns out not to be good for the environment. So yes, I think this, I mean, the Nordic region are probably part of Europe as well.
Mm-hmm.
Any more questions?
All right. Well, then I'm happy with this lecture. I mean, we said we'd take half an hour, and I think we have, so perfect. Thank you all for coming, and I hope you'll be part of this.
Thank you for comments.